We have now Lev Revutsky. I hope I said your name correctly. So he has a degree from the St. Petersburg State University in economics and finance, and he's been at Merrill Lynch, and currently he's at Pacific Advisors as a senior investment specialist. And so I'm going to let him tell you what he's going to talk about.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming, and I'll try to make it short and maybe exciting, I hope. First of all, an admission. I don't know much about real estate. When it comes to personal property, I delegate this to my wife, and she did an actually excellent job. So this is true. Also, a disclosure I need to make that the views represented by me today are not indicative of my company. This is the views. We live in a litigation society, so I represent my personal views. It has nothing to do with the company I work for. But hopefully you'll find this interesting and exciting. I think economy moves, and I agree with the gentleman who spoke before me, from bubble to bubble. This is true. If you look into the history from tulip bubbles, if you look in the recent bubbles, the cycle is actually quite predictable. And the fact is that we all need to try to learn from how to predict these bubbles and what we can do to benefit from them. For all of you, I want to recommend 3 books to read. Please write it up down. You will never regret this. Money back guarantee. One is When Mighty Fall. It's about Lehman Brothers collapse. You will read this like a thriller. One of the best books I had ever read. I virtually read this book in a few days. When Mighty Fall. I guarantee you will like it. When Mighty Fall. The second, Teaching Birds to Fly. Written by an economics professor. I believe he is from Spain, but he lives and works in the United States. What is important that he is a practitioner. He's a risk manager. And the third one, you probably heard this book, it's called Black Swan by Nassim Taleb. And actually the second book, Teaching Birds to Fly, was very highly approved by Nassim Taleb. Very often people confuse risk management with risk measurement. There is a theory that was in existence for the last 50 years. It's called efficient market theory. You're all familiar with the CAPM, capital asset price model, with the efficient frontier. And I use it. And I'm a practitioner. I manage people's money. I do this on a daily basis. And I virtually, the last thing I look when I go to bed is not my wife and not anything, but I look at the stock market futures. This is how I live. You call it the CD, ADD, whatever, but it works. Yeah, I guess. There are 2 types of periods that you can use. One, normal period, quote unquote, where you can use efficient market theory, and it works perfect. Example, 2005, 2004, 2006. Pretty much you can, any one of you can put the numbers in the model, and you can more or less, when volatility measured by VIX, also you can write this down, you can use it, you can track, it's negatively correlated with the stock performance, basically representing the pessimism of the market. And the second one is when volatility is high, when we are in the bubble or pre-bubble or post-bubble environment. This is really, really interesting environment. And these 3 books, by the way, will help to address it. So let's talk about more or less normal environment. Why, in my view, investing in real estate is quite important. First of all, there is a way how you can invest in real estate with small amount of money. Obviously, you know this. It's REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust, publicly traded company on the stock exchanges. You can use iShares through Barclay iShares. You can use index funds. You can use actively managed funds such as AIM, ING, Morgan Stanley. It's a wonderful way for you to participate in real estate by investing indirectly. To have a direct investment, you obviously need bigger amount of money. But indirect investments provide you with liquidity, with a continuous pricing, and with the opportunity to sell and get out from the market virtually in a second. Why, in my view, and once again, I don't consider myself by any means specialist in real estate, I more or less know something about risk management. This is what I do on my daily basis. I try to make relative return on the stock market, absolute return. How to make sure that the people not lose money. Or if they lose money, it's much less than the stock market declines. If you look at the portfolio of big endowment funds, such as Harvard, Yale, you would see that traditional investments, such as maybe stocks, bonds, representing less and less than before. And real estate, let me tell you exactly. For endowments, real estate, both commercial real estate and publicly traded real estate represents 6.5%. For corporate defined benefit plans, 4.1. But believe me, you will see this number increase. Also, it's extremely important to realize that when you're investing in a real estate investment trust or in real estate companies, you provide a huge benefit for yourself in terms of diversification. Once again, let's talk about risk management and risk measurement. Risk measurement is easy. You're playing Russian roulette. You have a gun. There are quite a few Russians. They will understand me. And there is like 7. You have probability 1 out of 7 that you kill yourself. But this is risk measurement. You know the outcome. Uncertainty is unknown. You don't know who will come to this gun and use it, on whom. So this is the difference. Once again, risk management is when we create models which with some degree of success can be used in the stock market and apply to real estate, and the risk management is how to use it. Look at the tsunami. People could not predict weather changes and huge damage that was created by big tsunami, by tornadoes, by hurricanes. But local people who live in the island, they left the shelters 2 days before. So it talks about risk management. So to protect yourself and to increase the defense in your investment portfolio and create diversification effect, real estate is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tool. First of all, on the long run, it serves as a great inflation hedge. For the most part, real estate REITs paying very high dividends, and they also provide a very nice negative correlation with the stock market. If you look on the correlation between REITs and traditional stocks, with bonds it's actually negative, and with the stock market it's in low 20s, 0.21, 0.27. So basically, as a correlation, negative correlation and diversification effect, as a protection against inflation, as a high income, I think based on recommendations of most people who are much smarter than I am, depending on your risk factor, you should have between Black-Litterman model suggests to use between 12 to 35% of your total holdings in real estate. Efficient market theory suggests between 8 to 22, 23. In any event, real estate should be an integral part of your portfolio. Thank you very much.